The deadly rope jump that should never have happened. A fun adventure turned into an unimaginable tragedy when 21-year-old Maria Eduarda Rodrigues de Freitas lost her life during a rope jumping event in Brazil. According to investigators, Maria was pushed off a 130-foot abandoned bridge without ever being attached to the safety rope. The horrifying incident was caught on video, and witnesses can be heard screaming, "The rope! The rope!" as she fell. Authorities quickly arrested 3 instructors who were running the activity. Prosecutors accused them of homicide with eventual intent, arguing that they knowingly exposed participants to a deadly risk. The instructors allegedly fled the scene before later being taken into custody. The bridge, known locally as Skeleton Bridge, had been abandoned for decades. Local officials claimed they had repeatedly warned the federal government about the dangerous condition of the site and requested security measures. Only after Maria's death did officials approve plans to demolish the bridge. As the investigation continued, another surprising detail emerged. A social media influencer revealed that just 1 month before the tragedy, she had completed the exact same rope jump with the same instructors. She said nearly 90 people participated that day without incident. According to her, organizers performed several safety checks and even instructed participants not to distract the operators while they prepared each jump. So what went wrong this time? Investigators say the company running the activity allegedly didn't have official authorization to operate at the bridge. Authorities believe the fatal accident happened because the safety rope was never connected before Maria was pushed. Even more concerning, investigators reported that the instructors couldn't clearly explain who was responsible for attaching the rope or why the final safety check apparently never happened. One suspect reportedly claimed he didn't realize Maria wasn't secured until he heard people screaming. To better understand how something like this could happen, experts explained the difference between rope jumping and traditional bungee jumping. Although the two activities look similar, they're very different. Bungee jumping is heavily regulated in many countries, with strict engineering standards, multiple safety checks, backup equipment, and trained staff. Rope jumping, however, often operates without formal regulations. In many places, almost anyone with climbing equipment can organize these events without standardized safety procedures. Experts say the biggest difference isn't necessarily the equipment, it's the lack of oversight. Professional adventure operators usually rely on 3 critical safety principles. First, qualified and properly trained staff. Second, redundant equipment, meaning every critical connection has a backup. And third, multiple independent safety checks before anyone leaves the platform. In well-regulated operations, one staff member attaches the equipment while another independently verifies every connection. Written checklists ensure nothing is missed, even under pressure. Experts reviewing this case say those layers of protection appear to have been missing. Although investigators are still determining exactly what happened, one fact seems clear from the available video. Maria was wearing a helmet and harness, but she was never connected to the main safety rope before the jump. Safety experts believe that if proper procedures had been followed, this tragedy should have been completely preventable. The legal case is now raising another important debate in Brazil. Defense attorneys argue this was a tragic accident caused by negligence, not intentional homicide. Under Brazilian law, prosecutors must prove whether the instructors simply made a devastating mistake or knowingly ignored an obvious risk that could lead to someone's death. Legal experts say proving criminal intent may be difficult, even if serious negligence is established. Regardless of how the courts ultimately rule, the incident has already sparked widespread calls for stricter regulation of rope jumping activities across Brazil. Experts hope the tragedy serves as a wake-up call for governments and operators worldwide. Adventure sports will always involve risk, but when proper training, clear procedures, independent safety checks, and strict regulations are in place, tragedies like this become far less likely. For Maria Eduarda and her family, those safeguards came too late. Now investigators, and eventually the courts, must determine exactly who should be held responsible for a tragedy that many believe should never have happened.